5 red lights on the clock. Extend it. Oh. Tomas get pulled! Why has Rian retired? Adri's up to 7! Oh Jesus Christ! The world champion.
Welcome along. It is round 9 of URC Season 12 here at the Temple of Speed in Monza. We've got all 19 of 20 drivers on the grid here, and FaZe Monkey with a qualifying ban to serve after reaching 10 penalty points in this season will no longer be taking part today. I am back alongside Shamrock. What a track it will be. There is apparently no tyre allocation because it's set to a 5-lap race. Billy is getting himself back in though, but a quick look at the standings. Hyper295 still continues to lead the standings. He is 37 points ahead of Rian C11 even after a disappointing performance out and back over him, but Hyper and Rian are pulling a gap on the field. It's a 61-point gap back to P3 in the standings, with Fram Bernoulli fourth in the standings as Quiet Boy before HB Cook. The two Williams boys having a decent season together, but nothing toppling McLaren and Racing Bulls for the time being. Looking down at the constructors' standings, McLaren lead at 200 points, 23 points ahead of the Racing Bulls team. A good performance from Williams today could see them closing in on that championship fight. 60 points behind Racing Bulls is Williams, a further 23 off the back of the McLarens. But we are ready and underway in qualifying. Plenty of drivers out on track ready to get themselves going, and the first one of those, I believe,
it's Rando.
It's Rando.
Yep. Rando is going to be setting the first lap of this session, and hopefully, you know, he's picked up some points in recent weeks, so hopefully he'll be on the points again. But knowing Rando's pace in a full stack grid, it's going to be hard for him to get in the top 10.
Now Rando, a little bit of traffic to his right as he gets on the brakes into the first corner. A little locker on the front right for the Ferrari man through turn 2. Didn't look too confident and hooked up, but it's early days in the session. Through now the Curva Grande, nice and flat, keep it as tight as you like, just don't get yourself on that grass before you set yourself up for braking into turn 4, just after the 100-metre board, hard on the brakes. You want to try and cut the curves, but not too hard, you'll invalidate or send yourself flying. Flat out now into Lesmo 1, take a downshift, a little dab of the brake, and that's all you need. Lesmo 2, a little bit harder of a braking zone, still 5th gear, as you straighten yourself up for the long, beautiful back straight towards the Ascari corner, going under the old banking for when we raced back in 1950, and it's hard on the brakes. About 75 metres, cut as much of Ascari as you can on the way in, but you don't want to use too much curb towards that exit. Flat out now, run straight to the Parabolica, bring yourself over to the left, pray you have enough battery on the exit. Hard on the brakes just after the 50-metre board, try and hook up that apex early, then run out wide before closing in to the line. Rando in the Ferrari, first lap going on the board, and it's going to be a 19.8. Expecting much better laps to come from here. Rian C11.
Rian's going to go faster here.
He is, but not as much as you might have expected. 18.7 from him as we've got an Alpine closing to the line as well. That's Vinny. Just starting lap. Quiet Boy slots himself.
Quiet Boy very close there as well.
Yeah, Bluefoot can't quite match that pace of Quiet Boy in the Red Bull. What the ever-loving God is that? Yari!
Nah. Check his files. Check his files.
Yari!
Half a second clearer than Rian.
Yari! Okay, there's still hope that it's just Hyper's not even on a push lap. Yari? I'm speechless. Who's next on our lap, maybe? Is that Hyper just come to the end of what looks to have been a slow lap? And what is Hyper doing? Because he's turned his battery on very late. 25.9, clearly an unrepresentative lap. Orabeng has invalidated, by the way. in Ascari, so P9 and will remain there. Does he have the battery and fuel to go again, maybe, in that Red Bull car? Shamrock is already going into Discord, asking him what the actual...
Half a second!
Half a second up on anyone else is the standard that Yari has just set in this session.
How's he done that then?
I don't know. I genuinely couldn't tell you how he's managed to do that. There's a flurry of cars, though, coming into Parabolica. We're on board with Billy Whiz. He's whizzed on the track a couple of times in the past, but he will go again. He's the one to finish a lap here. It is a 19.2 from Billy Whiz in the Haas car. Big Roots slotting in just behind him. And then that will be PFRL Angst. Slot himself nicely into P7 there on the main straight. Jordan Hill across the line. Goes up to P6. What can PFRL Gavboy do? It's only P9 for the time being. 19.3 is Hyper. Shows that Yari's lap may not be the best on the field.
He's a second clear of Rian. Oh, well, 9/10. Well, oh my god.
I'm starting to think Rian had a bit of a shit lap.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because Yari's outqualified him by half a second. Hyper's gone another 0.4 up on that. That is some competition out in front, and somehow the competition coming from Yari as Froby crosses the line, goes just ahead of his teammate, but kicks Alba. Sadly sitting towards the rear of this field right now as HB Cook needs to find a threat towards these front runners, because right now, nobody looking to stop Yari and Hyper. And I never thought I'd see Yari's name in that discussion.
Yeah, I suppose it's just one of those tracks. HB Cook goes P6 there, so pretty solid from the two Willies. Once again, no pun intended there. But yeah, it's I mean, an unbelievable lap again from Yari. The fact that that's his first lap in the session shows that this is potentially a good track for him. But yeah, Hyper definitely looking to bounce back after a messy sprint weekend in Azerbaijan.
And you know what? I think he's trying somewhat to take Johnsy Boy with him. He's not done a great lap. Only a 19.2 from him. Hyper just gave Johnsy Boy a massive tow on the straight down to Parabolica. A huge tow. Cannot be understated. Yeah. The effect that would have had. Fran Bernoulli, late to join the session because he's had issues with various parts of his game. 18th right now, no lap on the board with 10 minutes to go. Same is standing for Mr. Arabang and WTech7 Vinny. Fran Bernoulli, though, looking to fight forward. Unlike he's been able to this season, he may be high up in that driver's standings, but he's a mile away from everyone else. Fran Bernoulli, 52.4 in that middle sector, looking a little bit up from Sean Johnsy Boy, but lots of time to be lost, which I never thought I'd say in this final sector, because Johnsy Boy had a huge tow. So looking maybe still in the 19s for the Aston Martin driver, who needs to start putting race weekends together, but doesn't. It's
not a bad lap from Fran there.
Held on
P5
very nicely. P5 just a little bit off where Rian C11 is as it stands. And Orabang still doing an alright job there. 26.1 in that first sector, but a big slide through turns 4 and 5, and needs to recover that now quite nicely, because the times from P5 to last are split by a second. But you look up front, the time from P1 to P5 is again split by an entire second. Yari, by the way, just starting his next effort, so I'll be looking forward to seeing what he can do, as Arbeng has invalidated yet again Shamrock in Ascari. A weak point maybe for Arbeng in the Red Bull. Yellow flags are out as it stands for Arbeng, slowing down on that back straight, trying to get out of the way of Rando IE, who's looking to finish a second effort in this qualifying session. What can he put together? Can he bring himself a decent chunk further up the order? And he can. A couple places found. P16 for Rando, but it's definitely the lower end of the timing sheets for him. On board with Yari, who's backed out as soon as we go on board with him. And Vinny's just hit the wall, I think. Is that WTEC 7 Vinny? Yes, it is. Full front wing loss.
It is,
sent
yeah.
it too hard into the second Lesmo. And that has sent him off quite harshly. Could have been a decent lap from the Alpine driver who desperately needed something to come together for him.
Yeah.
But we'll just have to.
Not ideal for Vinny there.
Yeah, looking now at Quiet Boy 0209. Again, not been the star season we'd expect him. Into the pits, he decides to come. So a lot of people struggling to get laps together around here. I thought before the race we would see people really struggling to nail it together. Bluefoot improved, invalidated, and would have barely been ahead. Would have barely been ahead of HB Cook as Joker finding something.
Oh, Rian nearly got blocked by Vinny. Oh my god, that was close.
Yeah, Rian.
But Rian is not impeded.
And it's
P3 there. He still can't get near to Yari.
Yari is on a warpath right now. Has Orabang finally hooked up a lap in that Red Bull car? He comes to the line. It's P9 and just behind his teammate. It's what he needed as Hyper does the classic Hyper thing of he's made a mistake on his first run on a set of tyres. He's had to back out and go again on that same set. Jordan Hiller in the final sector now in that Alpine, also backing out straight into the pits for him. So a lot of struggles.
Oh, Yari's gone very wide. Yeah, everyone seems to be struggling on their second runs. I don't know what really it is, but
angst isn't Shamrock. P5 for him. It's a 6/10 improvement.
Wow.
Into
Great
the
lap.
18.6s and maybe a bit of sand.
Yari's invalidated. Yeah, really good showing from these new lads here so far. Obviously, we had 5 people join today and they're all kind of racing in PFRL. So it's good to see that they're pushing to the limit and giving the hardest they can do, giving their best. That's all we want to see, and obviously appreciate that they're racing here tonight. Obviously for some of the empty seats that we do have at the moment.
Hopefully we can see them as mainstays. Hyper not improving on this time Basking. He is 2/10 down at the end of that middle sector, and it's unlikely with that much time loss in a sector that doesn't have much time gain to be found if you've already hooked it up nicely on your first run, that he will see an improvement come the end. He comes to the right, and I'm pretty sure that is to dive into the pit lane. That effort done and dusted. I can tell you whose effort isn't done and dusted. It's HB Cook. 3.5 tenths up at the end of the middle sector. What can he do in the final?
P3 ahead of Rian. Wow.
That's what he needed. That's what he needed in that car. Sean Johnsy Boy and Froby coming into the pits, I believe that is. No, that's PFRL Angst. Who's coming. Rambanuli showing his struggles yet again. He's invalidated and wasn't even up at the end of that first sector. I think you've got to ask questions of the man from Malta, who seems to have had massive struggles. Froby comes to the line. P7, Kicksaba, who are lingering right at the back of the order towards the start of this session. P6 and P7 for the 2 Kicksaba drivers at this stage. I believe both coming from PFRL. Giving a good name to them, considering Jordan Hiller, Big Woots, and PFRL Gavboy all kind of in no man's land right now.
Yeah, I think the Kicksaubers are taking advantage of that track evolution. Obviously, the Alpines and some of the other PFR lads are in no man's land, but I think these final runs now will be absolutely critical for the likes of, Jordan. Definitely Big Woods has to try and find some time, but you can just see it, Leo. To get into the top 10, you have to get into the high 18s or even the low 18s. If you score outside the 18.9, that's the cutoff point. Bluefoot is essentially the cutoff point from P11 down to last. It's absolutely insane how much time you have to try and gain on this final run.
And I mean, you were talking about people whose final runs will be absolutely critical as Andy crosses the line, finds the place over Rando, but nothing more. WTEC 7 Vinny in the Alpine. No time on the board for him. FaZe Monkey obviously serving a qualifying ban, but if Vinny doesn't improve on his final effort, he's done. he'll be last, despite being allowed to drive in qualifying. He's just not hooked anything up. He's been invalidating every time he's gotten out there to set a decent lap, and that's not what you like to see from a driver who you know could probably be up in that top 10, despite the unpopular opinion, you know. He's very good at just hooking something up when he needs it.
It could just be, he's coming out now on the pit exit, but it could just be something about a confidence with this track as well. And Vinny's been on and off this season, I think, as a driver. He hasn't had the most confidence in his abilities, I think, this season. That he showed a lot stronger last season, but this season hasn't been easy for him on track. So I think that's playing into this season. But obviously, as you said, critical laps, this is the one to prove everyone wrong.
And Jordan Hiller, the first to start one, has time to back out if he needs to. Maybe even has time to cool and push again, but it will be tight if he requires it. First sector split coming up, and he is down, but it's a good first sector split as well for the Alpine. So already good in the first sector, with their mistakes found in other parts of this lap to reduce his pace. Through Lesmo 1 he comes. Nice and smooth from him. It doesn't look super aggressive. It doesn't look super on the limit. He wants to safely find an improvement on this lap. WTEC7 Vinny is slow on this back straight right now. So is this time for Vinny to kind of get his teammate a little bit of help as he lags a little bit on our screen and goes straight off the track? Vinny giving his teammate a little bit of a slipstream. Pulls to the left. That is so close between the two Alpines. But how much has that toe given Jordan? Jordan needs a lap at this stage of proceedings. What does he have left in the tank as he comes to the line? It's not even a position improvement for Jordan. No. He hasn't found an improvement. You know who is finding an improvement already? Joker. Found half a tenth in Sector 1. What else does he have to go as Fran Bernoulli has disconnected?
He's disconnected. I'll try and get him back in.
Unfortunate for Fran Bernoulli. Joker coming to this middle sector now. What does he have in the tank? He's a tenth and a half up, but he cuts Ascari.
He's invalidated.
The Ascari cut's so easy to do. Orabeng finishing that first sector as well, trying to just scan for anyone who's out there on laps right now. Orabeng could be towing Vinny a little bit here. And Vinny, tell me, Sham, is he invalid?
Let's have a look at Vinny. No, he's still going at the moment, so all clear for him. He's just coming down now towards the end of Sector 2. He's set a 52.6 so far, so he's on for a pretty decent lap. Can he get into the top 10? I really don't know, Leo. It's going to be close, I think. He's left it to the dire minutes.
I can tell you that Orabeng is a tenth up on his lap at a 52.4. So Orabeng desperate.
Oh, Vinny's gone wide into the wall!
Vinny in the barriers. His session is done. He's pulled a Charles Leclerc. Orabeng comes to the line. Doesn't find any time on his effort. So Orabeng is done. But you know who isn't done? Bluefoot was 2 tenths up in that first sector, and he's found more. He's
3 tenths up now.
Rian C11 comes to the line. It's an 18-1 from him. What can Bluefoot do, though? And technically the bigger team, Yari, is coming to the line at this point as well. Does he have an improvement in him? No. First lap was his best in this session. A couple more drivers ahead. I believe Johnsy Boy and HB Cook. HB Cook P4. Johnsy Boy. That was
Blue goes P5. Unbelievable.
P8. Blue in P5 is ridiculous. Froby doesn't seem to be on an improvement. Who else is out there potentially improving? Nobody improving as this session comes to an end. The only person left on the lap would have been Hyper, but he is down and invalid. So qualifying has come to its conclusion. And I can tell you this, Hyper on pole by 3 tenths. He needed 1 lap to do it, and to be fair, his second and third, just like Yari, didn't see an improvement. Sean Johnsy Boy pulls into the pits. 15th will not be what he expected after that qualifying session in that Mercedes car, where his teammates gone P8, PFRL, good showing there, P7 through P9, and then Jordan Hiller P13. Gav Boy couldn't find anything in P16. And it's that Big Woots thanking HB Cook for a tow.
Either that or Quiet Boy, I imagine.
Yeah, Quiet Boy P10, it's
Um,
not a great showing from him considering what we think he can do, but PFRL showing in great numbers there that they've got pace, but who's going to stop Hyper at this
Absolutely.
stage of proceedings?
I think in terms of quality pace, what we've seen this season is Hyper has that upper hand, but Rian is pretty good in the race. And the thing is, what's important for Rian is that Yari isn't starting ahead of him. But I feel we're going to have something of what we had in URC season 9, where we had a train of 10 cars in Monza leading for the opening 16 laps. And that race was won by an Alpine. Now, do I think Alpine are going to win today? No.
Hey, you
Probably
never know.
not.
Vinny from P20. He could come through and win.
Maybe.
He gets a safety car right after everyone's pitted. He comes through and wins. We just have a 20-man DRS train.
Could happen.
Yeah, we just
Could
go
very
F1
much happen.
esports style and just have a massive DRS train. Unfortunately, Shamrock, F1 esports is live right now for round 9 of their season. I forget.
Why watch F1
total.
esports when you can watch this absolute cinema? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I was still catching up on round 7 earlier because I completely
Like we have
forgot
Vinny
esports
on
was
the
starting.
second row. You don't get that in F1 esports, guys.
You know, we don't have a Yari in P3 in F1 esports. I'm telling you that. Somehow, by the way, in a 5-lap race, people have been allocated mediums, which is just even more absolute cinema. So we'll be waiting now to just show you a little bit of the chaos that occurs when everyone's meant to retire from the race lobby. This is the grid that you will see in the main race. This is not the actual main race. Big Woots, Quiet Boy, and PFRL Anks jump the start. Everyone gets away beautifully. A few people just retiring instantly. But it is carnage towards the back. Rian showing Hyper that he can take the lead into turn 1. Massive crash in that turn 1 corner. Plenty of time penalties, plenty of contact. Fran Bernoulli takes the lead here in URC. And what did I say? Vinny P1 up to the podium already. P2.
P2 already.
For the Alpine. Johnsy Boy has managed to disqualify himself already. Vinny's disqualified. Fran Bernoulli is disqualified. I don't know how HB Cook survived that wall, but he managed to. I'm just waiting now for everyone to retire from this session so we can get back to green shortly. We will join you again once we go green for the main race. Hope you enjoyed the little bit of carnage.
5 red lights on the clock. Send it on. Tamaz get pulled! Why has Rian retired? Abre's up to 7! Oh Jesus Christ! The world champion is...
Welcome back to URC. Before we get ready to go racing, first things first, team radio from Fran Bernoulli.
I can't do this anymore, Robbie. I can't do this. I can't speak. I can't speak. End the season.
Fran Bernoulli calling to end the season. Absolute cinema from the man from Malta, just because he's out of the championship hunt. If he ends the season right now, he is going to be proved fraudulent by Hyper, who has over double his points, by the way, so maybe you don't want to do that. And you want to try and close that points gap. But we are
He's got plenty of opportunities to do so.
We are getting ready to go here. What are your shocks from qualifying, Shem? Shock positions, 2 of them.
Yari, easily. I did not think he would pull off that P3. I can't lie. But I'd say the 2 Saubers actually as well from PFRL. I didn't expect that performance from them, but they did very well in fairness to them. Bluefoot as well, P5, unbelievable position from him. Hopefully he can stick with the top 5 now and maybe go for a podium, but I don't know. I think what he wants to avoid is getting involved in that turn 1 carnage. I just know there's going to be tears.
Yeah, I think my big shock really is Vinny just being unable to set a lap that entire session and binning it right at the end. Because, you expect him to at least get a time in, Fortunately, he gets promoted to P19 due to the qualifying ban of FaZe Monkey. And honestly, Andy, the A-team, is a bit of a shock for me. I thought he would have found a few more places than he did in that session. If Vinny and FaZe were in this lobby and got points, got a lap time, and I think Andy would have been in that back row, when I think he's a bit more capable than that now. He has shown very good pace recently.
Yeah, I think with Yari is that he shows so much potential in qualifying. And then for some reason, and you've probably seen it, Leo, in other leagues that you've commentated on as well, Yari's race pace just falls away. I don't understand it, but it's like his long distance pace just goes.
Yeah, I can tell you, Yari has he has very good pace. Generally, his main reason I think the pace goes away is he can't push the car because his tyre management is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But Fran Bernoulli, by the way, in the Discord, screaming,
"Yeah, see,
everyone be sensible in turn 1 for all of us, not just."
Faye says kill Yari.
No, I'm going to join in on that. There we go.
Kill
Say I
Hyper.
have bias now. Say I have bias now, people, because I've told them to kill Hyper.
On it.
I don't know how someone's meant to kill Vinny, because Vinny's right at the back there. If Vinny ends up dying in turn 1, it'll be of his own doing. We are still waiting to get going. We've got a picture of...
I'm getting into this as well.
What is this picture from Orabang? Is that like a crappy old Renault driving on the grass into Monza turn 1? Let's see if we have a repeat of 2011 with that HRT getting sent across the grass, but we are getting ready to go. You can hear the beeps from the lobby. There is no formation lap, so we will just be going.
Here we go.
Hyper 295 on pole, Rian 11 in P2, and it's lights out quickly, and away we go. It looks like a good start from Rian, who has already jumped Hyper. Yari with a terrible start into turn 1. Hyper dropping immediately behind his rival, and Hyper sideways and around. Down the order for Hyper 295 F1. There's a Williams, and I believe that's a McLaren. No, it's a Mercedes off the track. Hyper down to P6. Yari already recovering to P3. Mr. P7 is Mr. P2 right now, but Yari is going to be wheel to wheel with HB Cook in the Williams, who just about outbrakes him, but HB Cook making that position, staying in P3, but gaps forming at the back as Froby off the track in the gravel.
Orabang is way off. Oh my god.
Yeah, bad start for a lot of these guys. Fran Bernoulli a mile behind as well. Froby not recovering well from his issues on lap 1. Rian leading the way, but Bluefoot, most surprisingly, has gone straight with him.
Yeah, what a start by Bluefoot. He was just able to avoid that carnage that happened. I don't know what happened with Hyper. I think someone just caught him from his rear tyre and then Blue managed to get through. But Blue's in a really good position, but he has to try and keep off that Williams behind him. That's the big one, and Hyper's already gotten past that Sauber, so trying to fix the damage done, I suppose.
Yeah, Hyper already on the back of Yari in the Racing Bulls. Rian C11 first on the track, first to set a lap, so fastest lap for him. Here comes Hyper 295 F1 though.
Yeah, Yari's
Does he
got
have
to
the
defend
straight?
this.
Into turn 1, it's a good bit of late braking from Hyper. Can he hold it though? Into turn 2, Yari pushing him on the
fights it.
curb.
Yari is really helping his teammate here.
That is vicious from Yari, pushing him straight onto the grass. And this has opened a little door actually for Jordan to take a look now at PFRL Angst. Jordan with no battery really left to say, but straight up the inside of the Kick Sauber driver, up to P6. Good start for the Alpine driver who wants to find a good few
Speaking of good starts, Leo, Vinny has gained 8 places.
FaZe Monkey's followed quite well as well. 6 places for him, just on the back of Gavboy. Brando IE, who we're just following along with, made a mistake, and Joker...
Fran is 19th.
Fran's 19th. Oh. Joker has just got past Johnsy Boy now, so looking to make his moves in this race. Race pace, typically the stronger point for this Ferrari driver. But Yari, I think, going to be feeling a lot of pressure, as is Rian. Look at how Bluefoot has just gone with him. 4 tenths to gap, and it's a decent exit from Bluefoot. This could open the door for a move against the Racing Bulls car. Fastest lap for Bluefoot. Most surprisingly,
yeah, Bluefoot's got a lot of pace.
Here
are we going to see Blue leading a race in the URC? Yes, we are.
Does he get it stopped, though? He does beautifully into turn 1.
What a move.
Yari still fighting it out with Hyper, trying to go for the switchback. Hyper getting a little wobble towards that exit. More battery for the McLaren man, who is going to pull away. At this stage, Yari needing to recover that battery charge. But Bluefoot making it into the lead of a URC race. And it doesn't look undeserved. That pace was mighty right out the starting blocks.
Yeah. Yeah, really well done from Bluefoot there. Just... I did not think he'd get the move done in the main straight, but obviously Rian going to come back at him now. Rian, he needs the 25 points. He cannot... These two are friends, but Rian can't play nice at this point in the championship. There's too much at stake. He needs as maximum points that he can get from every race to Abu Dhabi. So I think we're going to see Rian get past Blue once again on the main straight. And Hyper is past Yari, so that defense from Rian's teammate is over and done.
Yeah, here comes FaZe Monkey now, looking on the back of Andy, who has also had a great start up to P11. FaZe Monkey not quite with the straight line speed to get Andy into the final corner. It doesn't seem to quite have the exit. Andy and FaZe Monkey going to be trying to look forward here, but maybe a defensive shape having to be thrown. Rian has retaken the lead. Looks like a basic DRS pass for him. Andy is going to have to look on Johnsy Boy to defend from FaZe Monkey. He's up the inside. Little bit of contact as my dog starts woofing at something outside. And Andy stays in P11. My dog is so excited to see Andy try and make an overtake on a driver like Johnsy Boy, who does have the pace. Even if he doesn't have that racecraft fully mastered yet. Andy, P11. And I mean, he started what might as well have been dead last. But DRS being held, by the way, from P8 of Joker, now P6 of Angst. All the way down to last position on this track.
Fran and Rando here battling for P20, and Rando's gone for a half spin and nearly put it in the wall. Oh my god, this guy. Yeah, really Rando struggling on track.
Yeah, Rando's that guy that some days will do well, some days might not. So Rando in P20, lingering where you kind of expect to see him, unfortunately. As Rian's briefly did pull DRS from Bluefoot, but allowed back in now, as Hyper has caught the back of this train.
Yeah, Hyper just looks like the quickest car right now. Look how much he gains on HB Cook here. It's not even going to be a difficult move, but I wonder, just will HB fight this? he won't. He just let the McLaren go. Probably smart enough to do that now. Bluefoot struggling as well to keep up with Rian in that lap, but he's back within the DRS. If he can hold off Hyper, he'll be helping out Rian here massively, but he knows he's not the faster driver.
Yeah, first pit stop now being made by Orobeng very early by the Red Bull driver, who just seems to have maybe just killed his tyres early on in this race. We know we went for a little bit of a pirouette earlier. Here comes Angst, by the way. Was that a let-through by the Alpine driver of Jordan Hiller? Because that's P6 very easily obtained. Also of note, Yari has closed into that DRS margin of the guys ahead of him. Does he have enough pace to try and maintain that after this DRS resolves itself? It might be a no for the V-Carb driver, but we'll have to see, because his race pace, I'm not looking too shabby right now.
Yeah, and Bluefoot's back within that window again, or that close enough window of Rian. So I think those two were in a VC. Maybe Rian wants to keep Blue behind, saying, "Look, just use me as a DRS and keep Hyper behind you." I think that's maybe the message that's going between them. Hyper isn't able to get close, and this might back him then into HB Cook, and Bluefoot's going to get past him again. So I was wrong, Leo. Wow,
Yeah, Bluefoot taking the lead over these two. Is this DRS sharing though, Shan? You know, if they're two good mates, they might just be playing a little bit of games with this DRS. They might need to, because Hyper, we have seen, be
Hyper's
also mighty.
Here,
and the two drivers, good mates, the two of them, having to defend by just taking up the whole track. Here goes Hyper, though, to the inside of Lesmo 1. Here. I think this is a done deal, unless Bluefoot, does he have the grip? Not quite.
Yeah.
Down to P3 for Bluefoot. Rian exposed out in the lead right now to his championship rival.
Yeah, that wasn't smart by Blue and Rian there to go battling in Sector 2. They really should have just either one sit behind the other, because look how exposed that left Bluefoot there, and Hyper just breezed by. I don't think Blue was ever going to be able to defend that.
Yeah, we look there. Mediums for Rian and Blue, hards for Hyper, and that should make life a hell of a lot easier for the McLaren driver. Those tyres on the McLaren surely in a better position than Rian's mediums. Here comes HB Cook, by the way, very close to the back of Bluefoot. As it stands, I think Hyper looking to recharge a little bit further forward, but still getting the option to fight it out. Locks up on the outside. They're wheel to wheel, bit of contact. Rian sideways, Bluefoot can't quite make a move back on Rian. Hyper, though, taking the lead after losing it on lap 1 with a terrible start and then being tapped around in Sector 1.
Yeah, it just looks like we saw it from quali that Hyper's pace is transferring now to the race, and he looks just very quick in that straight line, and there's nothing Rian can do about that. And in terms of the battery levels as well, Hyper has more than what Rian has to deploy. So there's so many advantages right now in Hyper's corner in the early laps of this race, despite being spun round in on lap 1.
I mean, we're talking a lot more about the driver's standings right now, but talking of constructors for a second, Yari has stuck extremely nicely to this top 5. The DRS train certainly helping him out a little bit in terms of battery, but he's closed himself back in after losing it, and now good opportunity for Yari to try and fight for a podium at a track he looks to have better pace than usual at.
Yeah, Yari showing some promising pace as HB Cook pits the first of the top runners in the mediums. So he's not feeling that these mediums can go any more than 7 laps, which, what does that say to Rian and Hyper then up ahead? Or Rian and Blue, sorry.
The question really, how hard has HB Cook had to kill those tyres to take that, to stay in that position? Because that's what's likely calling it, as Vinny takes a 10-second penalty for corner cutting. And was that in Parabolica? Yeah. No, that's Jordan Hill. So in turn 1, Vinny's managed to take a 10-second penalty, I believe. It'll be interesting to see if he has footage and tries to get it removed after this event, because that could be what's caused it. Yari, though, look at the speed he's trying to carry. He's going to go for it on Bluefoot here, surely. Just, I think, in the end, deciding he has to back out wants to play for this DRS ahead, and that is smart from him. Doesn't want to lose out just because he wants to gain one more position. Plenty of opportunities will present themselves in this race, but Bluefoot has lost that DRS to the top 2 now. So he'll be under heaps of pressure, and his teammate not really doing much to help him in that regard. P19 for Orobeng as Bluefoot dives into the pits. Yari follows him in.
Yeah, and it looks like what Rian is doing is a bit of recharging as well at the moment. He's staying in the DRS of Hyper, which is absolutely critical, but he's not pushing his battery levels anymore to like get past. He knows he's on the slower tire and that the mediums are kind of failing him at the moment now, so still a long way to go in this race for him, and he'll be going on to the better tire in a few moments, I'd say.
Yeah, I think Rian's goal now might be to try and one-stop this race, where it looks like everyone who's currently pitting might be trying to take that 2-stop and go to the end. Rian, though, known for being great with that tyre management, and surely can follow suit. How hard has Hyper pushed these tyres, by the way? Because he had to gain a lot earlier in the stint. And obviously both these guys should be getting quite heavily undercut now by the likes of HB Cook, Yari and Bluefoot, who are down there in P9, 10 and 11. 10 seconds is the gap ahead of HB Cook right now. And the
I'd say Hyper has pushed these harder than he probably wanted to, and we'll probably hear from him at the start of the race, and then at the end of the race. Sorry,
by the way, that was Froby
probably
having a little issue.
Yeah,
Rian into the pits, end
Rian's
of lap
pissed.
9. What tyre will the Racing Bull choose? That's the big question right here. PFRL Angst is going to take a look, I think, at Joker. No pace in that car. Rian switching off that medium onto a hard. Can he drag those tyres to the end? And what are we going to see? HB Cook, Bluefoot and Yari, the train behind them, trying to take the position from Rian, who did have DRS on the guy that seems the fastest on the circuit. All ahead of him. Rian down to P8 as it stands.
Except for Yari,
the pit stops working out. I mean, that still puts Hyper under a bit of pressure, because he's now looking to lose out to both Bluefoot and HB Cook when he comes into the pits.
Yeah. But I think Hyper now has less pressure on him on this, because Rian is no longer behind him. He's able to maybe nurse his tyres a little bit more, because as we did say, he had to really make them work a lot more in the first couple of laps to try and get back through the field. So his tyres are going to be feeling a little bit more pain, I think, than the likes of Joker, Johnsy Boy maybe. But yeah, I think he will, as you said, lose time to the guys behind as he goes for a little half spin there in Parabolica.
And it's into the pits for Hyper. 2 stops coming out. I think this is now protection against HB Cook, Blue, Rian and Yari, who are all on great pace right now. Certainly faster than that 10-lap used hard that he had on the car. So where will Hyper emerge? My OBS has disconnected, but I think we've just come back. Screw you, OBS. I think my internet's now getting the Shamrock curse.
Hyper's going to get Bluefoot here maybe, but is Blue going to defend this?
Yellow
Vinny's
flags.
retired in the pits.
Yeah, Vinny giving up on this race now. Hyper can't get Bluefoot this quite yet, but Bluefoot looking very aggressive in how he's driving that car. But Rian, rear gunner, re-established for him. And can he use this pace now? Can he pull away maybe from these guys? He'd ideally want HB Cook to fill in that gap between Hyper and Blue, to give him a chance to get away from these guys. But DRS and slipstream around here is powerful. Looking further, I was about to say I thought that Andy was about to be lapped. No, he is in P3 right now. No pit stop made for him. Joker finally pulling into the pits off his hard convoy, and Johnsy Boy alone, actually, as my internet is really playing up right now. Or is it YouTube servers? We will never know. Here goes Hyper down towards
he might get
turn
Bluefoot
1.
here.
On the outside of Bluefoot. Can he outbrake him? Yes, he can, but he goes very deep to try and do so. Bluefoot looking for the switchback in that Red Bull car. Can't get it done. But critically, Rian, DRS gap established. Can he maintain it? It looks like it for the time being. Rian.
Blue's going to dive bomb Hyper! Oh
He's
my
gone for it,
god,
and
that
he's
was a
made
great
it
move.
stick. Look at how this is helping Rian right now. P1 in this race for the Racing Bull.
my God.
It's P3, P2 net for Bluefoot, who is driving a Sergio Perez defensive masterclass
Silent
hyper.
Bull.
Surely will take the position and maintain it at this point. But 2.3, the gap to Rian. How much pace
That's
does Hyper
massive
have
from Bluefoot.
to close this gap now? Bluefoot doing his friend a massive favour in this race. The gap ever expanding now, and Bluefoot.
Blue might get back past him again.
You know, I have to be careful.
He's close,
though. He doesn't
Leo.
want to play it as in DRS games. He wants to play this as holding up Hyper, the guy that has charged this entire season towards success.
He's going to get him again.
Bluefoot
He's going to get him again.
is sending it. The battery doesn't matter anymore. He doesn't care how much he has into turn one. Hyper blocking him off from making that move, and Bluefoot now will feel a bit of pressure from HB Cook behind. Slightly better exit for Bluefoot. So Hyper will maintain that P3 position for now. It's net P2 unless, and I mean this is a big unless, is Jonty Boy one-stopping and playing very out of sync here?
He could be. He's managing his tyres very well for 12 laps on those hards. He's doing very good tyre management, but I don't know. We can just see what we can see from here. We don't know how he feels in the car at the moment, but yeah, he's done well.
Yeah, we have a message in the chat. What the fuck is Hyper doing in this league? It's like Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga, just boring as fuck. I would swear that was ST if it wasn't ST's YouTube account at this stage. Hyper, though, looking to gap Bluefoot on that DRS front here. Has he managed to do it? He's closed that gap to Rian, though, massively. He's pulled out of Bluefoot's DRS range, and that gap has come down 7/10 on this lap to Rian C11. Caution needs to be thrown to the wind now for the Racing Bull, who has a lot left to do in this race.
Yeah, it's just looking like Hyper now getting back into the rhythm for himself. And look, I think Rian appreciates that gap that Bluefoot gave him, but I think he still knows that Hyper just has a little bit more extra pace than he does today. But right now, he's still in a pretty good position, but Hyper just closing in on the Racing Bull.
I think my question now is, how is this one-stop going to work for Sean Johnsonboy? Front left tyre looks like hell when I'm looking at it on board with him. He'll need to go an extra 2 or 3 laps from this point just to hope to get a medium tyre to the end of this race and make that one-stop work. The gap hasn't come down as much to Rian on this tour of the circuit, but Hyper needing to recharge that battery quite heavily, in all honesty, because he has burnt heaps of it. Bluefoot, though, he's lost that DRS to Hyper, and now under pressure, Yari already pulling out, making himself known to the Williams of HB Cook. P6, I think at this point it's not even net P5, because Johnsy Boy technically leading this race on merit, 14 positions gained for him. Is anyone going to have a go here into turn 1? No, DRS being used just for a bit of recharge here. Joker, though, is going to get a move on Quiet Boy. Battery not in a great spot for the Williams man. Expected to do great things with that battery. Does it very well out of the venues. But P10 for Quiet Boy, P9 for Joker as it stands. Is that Billy Wiz dropping quite a few places there, trying to fight it back against Orobank, who's down to P15.
Andy and Frobby as well were battling there a bit, and I think, yeah, these battles could end in tears if one goes the wrong way. You never know. Safety car is still on the cards in this race, I think.
Yeah, one little out-braking moment is all it takes. A little slide, a little tail whip, and tears could fall from any of these drivers at this stage. Andy, a little bit wide in Lesmo 1. I'm surprised we've not seen more 3-second time penalties, by the way. So easy to do. As I say that, Andy and Jordan Hillier, 3-second time penalties for the two of them. Johnsy Boy, almost certainly on a one-stop at this stage, Shamrock. He is...
I think I know what he's doing, Leo.
16. What is he doing?
he said this to me in the Snap group earlier. He is doing anything he possibly can to help Rian. Look at Rian's gap to Johnsy Boy. It is going down by the lap. I think Johnsy Boy is sacrificing his race for any reason to help Rian, his VRS teammate. Let me cook.
I mean, surely not, because right now he's in a good position, actually, to be fighting for the win. Like, if this is a one-stop strategy masterclass right now from the Mercedes driver, and he's making it work. 1.5's the gap. Remember, when he pits, he's going to have 5, 6, 7 laps fresher tyres than these guys, and softer compounds at that. He'll be flying.
I'm just convinced that he is, you know, I think he's sacrificing his race for Rian here. I think. I don't know 100%, but he was talking about it in the Snap group, and this looks like what it's playing out to be, because Rian has now caught him. Hyper, though, is very close on the back straight here.
Side as OBS disconnects yet again.
Massive lock up from Rian there.
Rian locks up. It is P1 for Rian still, but he has a threat from behind. But Hyper, worse on battery at this stage of the proceedings. Johnsy Boy, one-stop strategy starting to be executed. Here goes Hyper looking to the inside. Another huge lockup from Rian in the Racing Bull. But it's still P2 for Hyper. And remember, Sham, Rian could pit this lap and try and go for a huge undercut because Hyper still has a medium to go.
Yeah, he could do that, but I think Rian is playing the one-stop strategy, same as Johnsy Boy, but I don't know. I don't know what Hyper's going to do. Hyper's going to get past him here anyway. And I think they were trying to play DRS chicken there, but Hyper is ahead. Rian has so much more battery than the McLaren driver. But look how much straight line speed that McLaren has. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, Hyper still though.
Oh no.
I'm going too fast into the pit lane. So HB Cook, disappointment.
That's a big blow for Williams.
For him. But Rian now looking to charge that battery, reacts to Bluefoot most likely. Surely it's too hard for the Racing Bull, and fuel saving as well. Bit of a lift and coast in there for Rian. So taking it nice and easy.
Yeah, it looks like it. I think he's expecting a safety car, but it hasn't come out yet, and running out of time for it to do so. So yeah, I don't know what kind of strategies these guys are playing with, to be honest.
Just something to note about Johnsy Boy and Bluefoot. Bluefoot has come out about 6 seconds behind Johnsy Boy. Bluefoot was not that far behind Hyper and Rian, who are now going to be having to consider the fact that they're undercut by a Mercedes. And every additional lap they spend on these tyres, the further they're going to pull away. Rian, though, full battery prepared. Hyper has re-prepared his battery on this lap too. Are we going to see the two of them try and dive into the pits, get on their final sets and go to the end? Neither of them looking to go just about yet. Staying out for one more lap. How can this hurt though? For the other guys, Johnsy Boy looking to close whatever gaps he can in this race and maybe take Fran Manuli with him, because they're very close. And as I say Fran Manuli's name, he disconnects. This might be disappointment for the Aston Martin driver, whose AI pulls into the pits, so time loss might not be huge for Fran on this disconnect, because it's only going to really affect the pit lane if he can get back in quickly enough. P2 still assumed for Rian C11, who needs to be thinking about a pit stop at this point. Johnsy Boy closing this gap ever more and more in this race. It's a 20-second gap back to the leaders, who aren't really seeming to pull away from these two. In that second chicane, they actually do a couple tenths gain, so these guys driving that part of the lap a lot better than Johnsy Boy seemingly can, but everywhere else the pace will just be better and better out of that medium tyre, that much fresher medium tyre on the Mercedes car. And remembering that Hyper can't one-stop. Hyper has to make a pit stop. Rian, if he keeps his tyres in check, can do it, but he's going to decide against
Rian's boxing
for the Racing Bull.
Big call, big call.
Yari going to have to stay out one additional lap. This will be the tester though. How far ahead might Johnsy Boy be from the rest of these guys? Already looking like he's understeering on that medium tyre. in the Mercedes.
Johnsy Boy coming around Parabolica now. He's gonna get out ahead of Rian.
And it might be more than just get out ahead. Look at the gap he might pull here. Rian just about getting off that pit limiter as Johnsy Boy has a good gap ahead of the Racing Bull.
Yeah.
Johnsy Boy, nearly 4 seconds of gap. 3 in the end to Rian JFT. How is this strategy turning into a masterclass? The man who started down in P15, in P5 right now on the track, but plenty of people to make more pit stops here.
Yeah, Johnsy Boy's really nailed this strategy so far, and he's potentially on for a podium, given how things go. But obviously, Yari is probably going to pit again, or maybe even stay out. Hyper, we expect to pit again, and definitely Angst in the Sauber. But it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, really, to be honest, for the likes of Johnsy Boy, and if Rian can get past him, or is Johnsy Boy going to... Yeah, let's see. I was waffling there for a second, so thank you.
Is Yari going to follow him in? He will. Yari into the pits, Angst into the pits. So, gaps now. Rian to Hyper, and Hyper really to Johnsy Boy as well. Is going to be a question. Massive lock-up into the pits for FaZe Monkey. Surely not, considering he runs that ABS assist that everyone loves so much. Hyper doing a much better job on the in-lap though. Here goes Rian. He will get ahead, but it's fresh mediums against fresh hards out there on the track, and Hyper in that range where the mediums won't be falling off right at the end. Threats aplenty from the McLaren driver, who only has a second of margin to the race leader after what was a huge undercut from the Mercedes. But don't count out Johnsy Boy yet. We've seen how that DRS can help.
Oh, we've had a retirement. Oh, pit lane.
Orabeng pulling into the pit lane and retiring from the race. He was pretty much out of this race on lap 1. Rian now needs to get Johnsy Boy. Hyper needs to not get Johnsy Boy. Rian on the grass.
Jesus, Johnsy Boy didn't see him coming there, I think.
Johnsy Boy contact with Hyper.
Hyper, that is...
Johnsy Boy, very late attempt at going up the inside of Johnsy Boy. He tried that on Orabeng last week, and look who got penalised there. Hyper, no damage for Johnsy Boy this time, but time loss for the both of them. And yet again, Hyper hurting his race by just making a silly mistake, trying to get past someone a bit quicker.
And he's got no battery, Leo. He's got nothing in the battery to use. So Johnsy Boy's going to stay ahead of him here. This is massive for Rian. Massive.
Rian, opportunities are open for the Racing Bull, who has 6 laps now. His title rival trying to threaten Johnsy Boy right now, but the battery fully depleted for both drivers. Johnsy Boy defends the inside. Hyper's going to put himself there anyway. Bit of contact, a little bit sideways. Hyper, massive snaps as the gap extends yet again for the leader for 2 seconds. Johnsy Boy saying he might be...
Hyper's getting angry.
A gunner against Rian is going to work out
Hyper's going back to his mentality from Baku. For sure.
Better battery this time for Hyper. Surely the move will be complete at this stage. He cuts off Johnsy Boy. Does not want that Mercedes trying to go back past him. P2 retaken by the McLaren driver. Can Johnsy Boy do anything to try and prevent further? You've got to remember though, look out in front. Rian has half a battery compared to Hyper's completely drained pack. That's what we've got to pay attention to at this stage. Johnsy Boy will maintain DRS on Hyper, by the way. So chances for Johnsy Boy to come back in that Mercedes. He didn't.
He was in the range. Surprisingly, I think he did it by a margin.
Small margins are what F1's all about, and sim racing especially. FaZe Monkey, fastest lap of the race in that Aston Martin. I do not remember if that's worth a point over here, but certainly still an accolade to be held by FaZe Monkey. Maybe P11, but at least he's got a fastest lap to show for his efforts as it stands. Yari, P6 on track right now, fallen away since the start, down 3 places, but doing incredibly well as it stands. to keep everything together. Rian, though, class of the field right now, 1.8 ahead of Hyper, who's still not really gained back any battery in that pack. He's pulled from Johnsy Boy, but his battery is practically empty, and stress
He's
will
definitely
start to live on
exceeding
his
track
mind.
limits somewhere. As Yari gets 3 seconds. I think Hyper's on 2 warnings. He's driving, he's pushing the car really aggressively, I think.
Is that what he needs to do, though? Because 1.7 the gap, it doesn't look to be coming down too much. Rian keeps more battery than the McLaren car. Plenty to do if he needed to defend against the car with that minimal amount of battery. Into turn
Bluefoot's
1,
on for a podium here.
1.7 yet again. Bluefoot, yes, you're right. Just closing in on the back of Johnsy Boy. Yari, though, getting past HB Cook in the Williams. So it's this Yari now starting to go on his charge. He boxed the same lap as Hyper did onto that medium tyre, and it seems to be working a little bit better on that Racing Bulls car, because McLaren, unlike in real life, not taking care of its tyres too well, pushing very hard.
Hyper's
That's
gone wide
another.
again.
I mean, I'd ask you to check Shamrock. What's his state in the race director? How many warnings is he on? Because Hyper in dire straits right now. Bluefoot, not enough battery to go on a charge against Johnsy Boy just yet this lap.
Hyper. So he's on the edge.
So as OBS reconnects, Hyper 295 F1 confirmed 2 warnings on the McLaren, so
He's really
needs to try
pushing
and
that
hold
car
himself together. Bluefoot does get past Johnsy Boy, and surely he'll have the tyres now to pull away. That medium tyre on Johnsy Boy is going to be crying out for help. Had it on since the end of lap 16, when he finally made a pit stop. Rian, though, has pulled away from Hyper in these last few laps, so Johnsy Boy has done the Lord's work if you are Rian C11, who is sat there with a cushy gap to the McLaren driver that he desperately needs to start beating in races to try and stand a chance in this title fight. News on Johnsy Boy: he has lost DRS to Bluefoot, it looks like. Won't be getting that back anytime soon. As Hyper,
Oh, Hyper! I knew he'd do it. I knew he'd fucking do it.
He's finally
Sorry
hit
for the
that
swearing.
3-second
I
penalty.
knew he would. He's pushing that car way too much. This man is a 3-second curse.
Hyper
Literally.
in shambles now. 3-second penalty on the docket for him. And Rian now will be the happiest man in Italy. A 1.5 second gap, but a 3-second penalty for his title rival. He still has to be careful himself. Johnsy Boy falling down the field, but even if he does fall down the field, it won't be the worst thing for him. Plenty of places still will have been gained into turn 1. That is close between Yari and Sean Johnsy Boy. Wheel to wheel.
Very close, yeah.
For the Racing Bull and the Mercedes. They're going to try and fight it out though through Curva Grande. Yellow flag out on track. Someone in sector 2. That's Fran Bernoulli, who has had a little issue there. Lap 26 or 27 though. Yari still looking at Johnsy Boy. Goes a bit deep there. Can't afford to take that DRS. HB Cook is going to be looking at this battle and looking, but that
Fran's
contact
going very slowly here, Leo.
cause issues. Fran is driving very slowly.
I don't know what Fran is doing here.
Fran is on softs with a full... Oh, I see what Fran's doing. I think he's fishing for some... is just going out, Shem. I don't know if you can still hear me, but my internet is indeed still going out.
I can hear you, don't worry.
I have just returned now, yes, so Fran Bernoulli potentially just looking to get some DRS to go for a fastest lap attempt. My computer, unfortunately, the internet isn't playing fair games as we start the final lap with Rian. Question now, Sean Johnsy Boy, does he have anything to fight back against Yari into turn 1? The DRS is going to be enough. Whatever battery he has is going to be enough as Quiet Boy pulls into the pits.
Quiet Boy retires, yeah.
On the final
10-second
lap
penalty.
here. Bit of contact between Johnsy Boy and Yari. Is this going to help HB Cook here? Johnsy Boy, if he was helping Rian, needs to help Rian in that Constructors fight too, and that's where Yari comes in. Here goes HB Cook. Is he going to get the two of them here? He's going to defend from it at least. HB Cook can't make a move stick here. We're going to have one more opportunity here Rian still on the back of Fran Bernoulli. Fran not looking like he's on for a fastest lap. Can Yari Spams L2 do anything up the inside of Lesmo 2? There's contact, but it's only lag. Yari takes that P4 position. Does he have enough battery to defend this, though? Even with the DRS enabled, seems to just about have it. But we are going to follow through the final corner. The Racing Bull of Rian
Number
C11.
17.
It's win 17 for Rian C11. Fastest lap to boot. Right at the end for the Racing Bull. Hyper will come home in P2. Disappointment for the McLaren driver who looked to have it all today. P3 for Bluefoot. Yari, penalty applied. It'll be P4 for Jomsy Boy. P5 for Ankt. Just out of nowhere.
Great result for him.
Yari P6. Joker P7. Jordan Hiller P8. HB Cook 9. PFRR Gavboy. Right at the end comes to the line for P10. Woot's just behind him for P11. FaZe Monkey 12th on the track, and it's been a good race from Andy the 18th. 4 places gained up to P13. Furby 14th. Billy Wiz 15th. Rando will actually take that position from Billy Wiz. 16th for Billy right at the end, and Fran Bernoulli out there giving us a little bit of entertainment. He crossed the line just before Rian was practically a lap down from everyone. I mean, my question now will be, what does Hyper say to Jomsy Boy? It's cheers for the payback on the towing quali.
I think there's something going to the stewards room between Jomsy Boy and Hyper. I think I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but I don't know if a penalty is going towards Jomsy Boy's way or Hyper's way. So yeah, I think it's down to the stewards room. There's going to be a tension in the stewards room yet again. The same with Baku last week. So another stressful decision, I think, for C. Faulkner coming up. But this is a dark day for Fran.
P17 and almost a lap down. I would
Yeah.
love to know what Yari has done. Richie says, what the fuck have I missed? Yari's now goated and Fran's washed. That's what he has to say, as Fran seems to be trying to waste a little bit of our time here. Yellow flags out on the whole circuit. Is that a virtual safety car that's managed to be deployed by Fran Bernoulli?
Looks like
the
it.
entire track is yellow right now. It is! Fran Bernoulli has managed to spawn a VSC from a lap down. I mean, he had 3 minutes to finish this race. He is certainly outside of that 3 minutes nearly. We've been managing to speak. But Shamrock, while we're waiting for this, who would you consider your driver of the day here?
Well, I'd give it to Jomsy Boy. I think where he started and where he's finished, how he made those hards last 16 laps, I think it's clear that he gets it and he deserves it. And yeah, fair play to him. I think the title race is still very much still on, with Rian getting those 25 points, but he only gains really a 7-point advantage. So Hyper really needed that P2 after last week's shenanigans, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you there on Jomsy Boy. Even the game agrees. Driver of the day for the Mercedes men. And I mean, there's no faulting him for that performance. P15 to P4. Honourable mention for Jordan Hiller, P13 to P8. And Gavboy, P16 to P10. And even FaZe Monkey, last to 12th, is not an easy achievement for him. 2 retirements from this race that weren't classified, being Orabang and Vinny. Fran Bernoulli and Quiet Boy also deciding to retire at the end, still classified in this race. Just out of the way, I'm surprised Quiet Boy retired though. He was still P10 in all of that. But Rian walks away with a sweep of the race. He's won it and with the fastest lap as well. Couldn't quite take home all 3 with getting that qualifying win. Billy Wiz is saying Rando for driver of the day. To be fair, he did finish ahead of one driver that finished the race. So we do have to consider him for that. But we will return very shortly to get some interviews with your top 3. We're back. We are back, and I am here with Bluefoot, the guy who finished P3. Bluefoot, I mean, what a performance from you today. I think best one you've had this season.
Oh, here he goes. Sing it with me, Sean.
He didn't win the race, lads. Just
Oh
so you
my
know.
God, Blue's back again. Yes! What a fucking race. Thank you.
Bluefoot.
Yes, delighted
Better
with
if you
that race.
Okay. When I saw you going to P1, I was like, "Oh, don't tease me, Lord.
No, I
Tease
know.
me,
That's all I
Lord."
needed, to be fair. That's all I needed. It was great.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, Bluefoot, acting like you've won a race. I mean, a podium must feel great for you after
It does,
a difficult
considering I was
season.
second last. Yeah. So, season hasn't gone well. People say a few stupid decisions from myself, but I beg to differ. But anyway, back to where I belong, on the podium. But yeah, no, it was a great race. The strategy worked out well. I felt like I had a good natural pace around the track anyway. Even just in my few little practice sessions in quali, I saw I had a good bit of pace in the car. So luckily I was able to transfer that into the qualifying session and then just keep maintaining it in the race as well.
Yeah, I mean, best position in the race for you so far this season has been P7. Mr. P7 intensifies, but you've only finished 3 of the 7 races you've started in. And now, obviously, this adds up to a 4th, and the podium coming along with it. And it's a good haul of points for you, considering, as you said, down there, P19 in the standings as it stands. But,
Yeah.
I mean, is this just a good track for you, or what's happened to bring
Yeah,
it
like Monza has always been one of my just naturally good tracks. Same with Canada. Canada and Monza and Baku have always been my top 3 tracks that even if I do no practice, my pace is still good on. So I was looking forward to racing on this track. So I knew I could do something. But again, like the previous races, the ones I haven't finished, a few of them were with incidents with other silly drivers. But I was just hoping keep it clean. I did come out the pits behind 2 lads, but I knew both of them can actually race, so I wasn't too worried for that.
I mean, I just have to say, you kind of blew my mind today, showing actual pace for once and sticking up there at the front. I mean, was there anything going on with tyres today that kind of helped you out, or because?
Yeah, tires were actually okay. The wear was there, but it felt fine. There was no time where I was actually struggling to keep the car. There was just a few times I felt a little bit wide with a bit of steer in the final corner. I think me and Reen had the same kind of issue, but overall it was okay. I was kind of scared about Yari at one stage because I thought he was going to pull off a one stop because he was miles ahead of me, but luckily he pit, so that was my only worry. But yeah, the tires are actually okay. I was able to manage them well, and the two stop, I wasn't out there on them for too long, so it was fine.
Yeah, I mean, you had Johnsy Boy, the only driver who did pull up a one stop that race. Was he any concern to you when you saw him going for that strategy, or do you know you'd be able to beat him in that race?
Yes, slightly, but then once I saw him battling with Hyper, I was kind of like, okay, my pace is gaining. And then once he cleared Hyper, I think there was once Hyper cleared him, there was about 2 seconds between us, and I closed within a lap. So it was kind of calmed me down. At first, I was a bit like, oh shit, did he do well here to pull off a great strategy? But unfortunately, his tires just weren't with him, and it was pretty easy just to get by.
Shamrock?
Yeah, look, this man seems to fucking surprise me every now and then. He always claims, "Oh, I get no fucking luck" or whatever, and he does. He does get bad luck some weekends. Honestly, I've seen it myself. But yeah, look, when he got into P1 there, like
Yeah,
I
the
genuinely
scenes.
thought, I don't know. I thought Ryan might have held up Hyper a lot for the rest of the race and just let you win. Genuinely,
Yeah,
but
no,
like,
look,
honest
I
thoughts.
didn't. Yeah, I didn't expect him to do that. I know he's in the championship battle. I know he needed the points, so I was not expecting that at all. But yeah, I was just when I saw Hyper behind me, I knew I just had to pull out me inner Silent Bull and Sergio Perez to try delay him a bit, and I did. To be fair, I done okay to do that with a few nice
Well,
moves. But
in fairness,
his pace was
Johnsy
just
Boy
super
took
fast.
that same initiative, but he did a bit more of a
Yeah.
Mazepin defense. So
Yeah,
like, he took the
yeah,
different initiative.
yeah. But look, fair enough. He tried it. That's all that matters.
Exactly. So, Blue, we obviously have Brazil next week, race number 10.
Christ. Uh-huh.
Are you feeling good around Brazil, or is that a whole different scenario?
I don't know. Like one race, I had a howler in FA P17, couldn't get the pace going, and it was rubbish. And then in VRS season 1, I think it was, or well, I was trying to say ARL, I got P2, but a penalty knocked me all the way down to P9, I think it was, because I think there must have been a safety car, or we were all just so close together. But I finished
Yeah.
P2 on track, so I think I do have pace around here with the right setup, but I wouldn't say it's one of my strongest now, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, sure. And look, if all things go bad there, you do have the sprint in Jeddah, so to
Yeah.
make it up. But yeah, look,
Exactly.
well done. Well done tonight.
Thank you.
Podium again, another podium for yourself. So,
Of course.
fair play. And
Thank you very much.
well done. Well done.
Right, see you later. Bye.
Thanks for coming along.
See you later.
Great to speak to you. Hope you're on
Right,
the
let's
podium next week.
let's drag in Eminem to the VC.
Yeah, Eminem for his Pete.
Nope, that's not Eminem. Bring him back down.
This is Eminem.
I practically
Oh.
teased him. I teased Johnsy Boy there.
Hello.
Hello, Hyper.
All right, yourself?
Are we calm and collected?
Not as calm and collected as all the time, but compared to Baku,
Better week than Baku?
better track, better drivers.
Fair enough.
Our bank showed its true level.
You didn't even finish the race.
P15.
Yeah. Obviously, P2 at the end of that race, and the 3-second penalty, which I knew you'd get, because, I mean, you were cutting the scary like cutting butter.
Didn't. That's the thing, though. The thing is, I only had two actual warnings.
You did.
No. I got my warning, the second warning for avoiding Rian when I was coming out of the pit lane. I had to cut onto the, like the wee bit of tarmac next to the pit exit, because he was coming so fast, overtaking whoever it was.
Sure.
It was.
3 seconds, please. Okay, I believe you, but sometimes you just push a little bit too much, Hyper. You push a little bit too much on your car. The 3-second
Oh.
curse has been
If you
real
don't-
this season for you.
If you don't push every lap, are you really a driver? Like,
I know, but it could have cost you that P2 if Bluefoot caught up to you. Do you know what I'm saying?
it's Bluefoot. I wasn't scared.
Oh,
He's the silent bull. He held you up for 1.6 seconds.
Yeah, and then he lost it immediately once I got
Well,
past.
He made the effort. He made the effort, like, in fairness. Don't be dissing the silent bull. He made the effort.
Oh,
Obviously, look, I think you needed this P2 anyway, given last week's scenario, so you had to try and get the best out of this race, and I think you did that exactly. And obviously, I'd say you would prefer to get the win, obviously, but
yeah.
um,
Obviously.
P2, it is what it is. It's 18 points, so I think it does give yourself a bit of a more advantage now going into next week for Brazil. So how are we feeling about Brazil?
We'll see.
Let's see. Leo, any questions of strategy?
my main question is, what are your thoughts on Bluefoot and Johnsy Boy's defense against you? And that's what I want to know, and I
Well,
think that's what anyone would want to know.
As Johnsy Boy said, he was rigged. He was rigged. He was paid off. So he was.
He was paid off to defend that hard against you.
Yeah.
In fairness, Hyper, he is in a Mercedes, and we all know the memes of Mercedes. So, like,
Yeah.
can you be surprised?
To be fair, he was a bit dodgy, but you know yourself, fucking.
It seems everyone's out to stop you this season, Hyper. I don't know what it is.
Oh. You have to be the best. You have to beat the best. Some people take it a bit too literally and have to actually try and beat me, but like.
True, I suppose. Yeah, I can't disagree with you there. Leo, any final words for Hyper?
Hopefully in Brazil you're not so washed anymore. Thanks for coming along, Hyper. We will speak to you again.
Has he been washed out of the Baku this season?
He was washed.
Right, let's bring in Rian Rastafari.
Rian Rastafari, our race winner in Monza. Rian, just tell us about the race, because it didn't seem as simple as it may have looked towards the end.
Just give me 2 seconds, lads.
2 seconds.
Is he lighting a joint?
I would almost assume
What's he
so.
doing?
Victory joint for Rian.
He's earned that. He's earned that, in fairness.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it gives me time to pull up his stats and laugh at the fact that he's.
I did say to him there was a bag of Mary Jane at turn 2, so I think he's found that.
Oh damn! Hyper and Rian at the end of last race has actually won the same amount of races. It was this race.
Yeah.
Rian has won more than Hyper this season. Hyper's just been more consistently there.
In fairness, he did finish like P2. I'd say maybe 5 times. 4 or 5 times. So like
3 P2s, 4 P1s, and a P6. So it's now 4 P2s, 4 P1s, and a P6 for Hyper. Marian has 4 P1, P2, P3, DNF, and a did not start. Alright, Rian, so that race didn't look as simple during that it did towards the end. So tell us how your strategy managed to work out.
Well, at first I thought Hyper was on the better strategy because he came back close to us very quickly on the hards, but I don't know. At first I thought it was better for Hyper being on the hards, but then his first stint, like I got a pretty good, not pretty good undercut, but I came out ahead, and I don't know how to explain it, but I just felt comfortable then after the first stint.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like Hyper was your only pressure point, but Bluefoot towards the start put you under a bit of pressure with his pace. Did you think he was going to be a threat towards the end there, and were you trying to kind of work together against Hyper at the same time?
Well, no disrespect to Blue, but no, personally, I didn't think he would be that big of a threat at the end. I definitely think he could have been there 100% at the pace. Now at the start, we just both said in the VC, let's work together, let's try pull away. Look, he was very fast at the start, but I think he just got caught up in a few battles. burnt out the tyres a little bit, so it was pretty much a head-to-head between me and Hyper.
Yeah, I mean, qualifying hasn't been your best part of the season. I mean, you've certainly still been up there pretty much every race you've qualified for. Do you think there's any chance that you're going to beat Hyper in qualifying this season?
I think it's a possibility, yeah. It'll be very difficult. He's very quick over one lap, but there is the next few tracks coming up now are fairly decent tracks for me. So realistically, my goal should be to be qualifying P1 and finishing P1 from now to the end of the season. It's all I have to do. There's now what I finish in place is good enough to win this championship. So I have to win every race.
Last question from me. Do you think now with Yari's bit of a resurgence of performance, shall you say, what we saw in Kota, but coming a bit more towards this end of the season, can you and Yari win the constructors fight here? Obviously, with the drivers still being your main focus.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely possible for us to win. Hyper doesn't really seem to have a McLaren teammate at the minute. I think no, but no, he does now.
Yeah, he's got Andy, but Andy's kind of
Yeah.
struggling in the.
No, he has Andy now, but for a portion of the season, he didn't, and it let us catch up a little bit. Possibly should have been outscoring a one-man team, but look, now that Yari is kind of pulled his head out of his arse and start putting a few decent laps in, I think we can push for it, yeah.
All right, Shamrock, do you have anything for Ian?
Yeah, obviously, just solid race again, Reen, and you did the maximum that you needed to do. But I just want to ask, because obviously Leo didn't ask these questions, but was Bluefoot and Johnsy Boy kind of defending Hyper? Was that kind of coordinated, or was that just unexpected on your end?
That was unexpected on my end. Look, when I seen they were very close to each other, I said, look, lad, like I'm in the VC. I said, look, lads, if it doesn't compromise yous, like, don't just let him fucking boy. Do you get me?
Yeah.
I imagine you want to ask about the last lap as well. I said no. I don't want DRS, tow, anything. I didn't get
Yeah, no,
DRS.
I didn't know. I thought Fran. I didn't actually think Fran was going to block you. I thought Fran was going to take out Hyper.
I was telling Fran and the VC, do not do anything stupid. Just stay the fuck out of the way.
Yeah.
Look, the tow helped a little bit. It definitely helped for the fastest lap, but look, I had it covered. Once there was that Johnsy Boy and Hyper fight, I was able to build up the battery back to 100%. Hyper was on the mediums and a dying tyre. I knew I had comfortably got the win covered from the minute the DRS gap opened.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, look, it's as I said, it's race number 17 on a win for yourself there. So 17 wins, 24 podiums altogether. Is there more to come this season? Maybe adding more to the tally?
Yeah.
Fairs. And obviously with title fight.
There has to be. There has to be 4 more. 3, 4. They have to vote. All of them have to be wins. No other position is good enough. I've shown now over the course of the season I can win. And
yeah,
it need to stop downplaying what I need to do. I need to win. So there's nothing else really to say.
So it's win or die for the next couple of rounds, is it basically?
Yeah, pretty much that's it. If there's no, we need to think about the championship position. It's I'm winning or I'm in a wall or whatever. I'm not happy with that other than winning. So
Yeah, well, that's understandable mentality. Like, and look, I think Hyper will be thinking the same, and I think that's the way he was driving tonight was kind of like in the exact same mentality, where if he's either win or die, and especially after last week as well in Baku, which was a difficult week for him, he just wanted to absolutely dominate the floor tonight, and he'll probably want to do the same for the next couple of rounds. But I'm sure, as you said yourself there, you'll want to do the same. And look, I hope it's going to be an entertaining couple of last 3 rounds between the two of you, and I think we are in for another good end to the season, the same way we had one in season 11 for sure.
Yeah, I think it will be hopefully a very good end to the season. Look, I did a great job today to somehow stay within how close he did. Like after the few of the battles and shit like that, he still put his head down and was able to push on a little bit. But look, it's gonna be a brawl. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a brawl is what we want to see on the URC channel. Leo, anything else to add for our race winner before we bring in Johnsy Boy?
In your most honest opinion, is it your year for another championship, or will Hyper take it from you?
Good question.
Fuck you, dickhead.
That's a great question.
I yeah, it's my year.
Great answer.
Confidence.
Great answer.
Well, Rian,
That's
was-
not in an egotistical way. I'm backing
No,
myself to
great
the end
answer,
as
though.
always.
so well, Rian, we'll expect to see you as the third interview for the next few races. Then just make that happen. Hopefully, you can pay off a couple of guys to take out Hyper, because I think it's going to be very difficult without Hyper being there with Hyper being there.
No, like I was saying, and look, there was a few jokes around the VC or whatever. Look, I said, look, lads, no jokes. I don't be stupid. Like I don't want to win anything in any unfair way. I don't mind losing if I'm beaten in a fair way, but I also want to win in a fair way. I don't like having cheesy wins,
Yeah, I understand, and I mean, I appreciate. I think just as Shamble, the fact that you are wanting to race this clean to the very end. So let's hope we can make that happen, Rian, and let's hopefully, for your sake, see you take the championship, second one in URC. But Hyper is going to be hungry for it after last season, so you better watch out.
Yeah, 17 wins and 1 championship isn't a good look, so I gotta add another one to it.
All right, thank you for coming along, Rian. We will speak to you, I'm pretty much certainly, next week after Brazil. Hope you have as good a race you had today, because it looked very good from you. And last on the chopping
Right,
block,
let's bring in the woman who's been moaning about getting an interview.
the woman who has been moaning about getting an interview. Johns may not be a boy. Welcome into the voice call.
Spamming me like.
And he's not even speaking.
He's got to speak now. He's not even speaking. This is part of the
It's
interview.
push to talk. I'm trying to turn you up.
Wow, lower your tone, first of all.
He is already angry that he did not
Okay,
get that
I can't.
podium.
He's not talking.
Hello?
This has to be rage bait.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, hi.
Okay, John.
Hello.
So, first question for you really is, how'd you make the one-stop work?
I was stuck behind a lot of people in the beginning, starting like 15th or 14th, wherever it was. And I was just saving so much tires. I was going through the corners so ridiculously slow. Like, my tires were just fine. When I was finally in clean air and in the lead, I could actually push, and my tires weren't even too bad.
Yeah,
So by the time I actually... Oh, say that again?
Oh, go on.
By the time I'd actually pitted, my tires were basically on the verge of dying. They were like 85%. I did risk an extra lap, but my medium stint was even better, but I did 11 laps on him, and on the finish line it was like 65%, which was quite good compared to what I heard from the people I was in a VC with.
Yeah, I mean, look, the only driver today to pull off that one-stop strategy, and I mean, it paid off wonderfully for you, P15 to P4, and it didn't look too difficult of an affair for you. Do you think, though, that you could have got the podium with the tyres that you had on that car?
Potentially, I did do Rian a favour and hold up Hyper as much as possible. So maybe if I didn't lose multiple seconds doing that, Blue wouldn't have caught me, but I'm happy for Blue to get a podium as well. Well, if it had to be someone, I'd want it to be Blue.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's been a pretty decent season from you, all in all. You know, it's still P15 in the championship before the race, 20 points on the board, but every race you finish in the points, and you keep that streak going today with a P4, your best of the season, actually.
Yeah, it was so close to my first URC podium.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's still 3 rounds to go on this URC calendar. We've got round 10 in Brazil, round 11 the sprint in Jeddah, and then the final round in Abu Dhabi. Are any of those tracks looking to offer you up a podium?
Well, I wouldn't say it's because it's a strong track for me, but I've heard some rumours that Hyper is not racing in Saudi Arabia. So if there's going to be a track, it's going to be when Hyper's not there.
Well, hopefully while Hyper isn't there, you can do it. Sham, any questions for Sean Johnsy boy?
Sham's just not here.
Sham has disappeared and he's disconnected. All right, beautiful. Then I think
Fair
we'll
play
call
to him.
it there, Sean Johnsy boy. Good job today on that P4.
Thank you very much.
Paid off for you, and hopefully performance maintains itself now through the rest of the season. Just fix your qualifying, man.
Yeah, my qualifying's never been good. That's never going to change, I don't think.
Well, you can always hope. But with Shamrock having disappeared here, that leaves me to close you out. If you look on your screen right now, the graphic is in a scuffed position because I've only just remembered to set this up. Upcoming events, we have Owls Racing League on Sunday. The only thing that doesn't show up on this list, VRS F2, will be running Mondays at 8 p.m. Drive some F2 cars around Monza, so 2 Monza races in Europa Leagues that I commentate before you see VRS Tier 1 will be running on a Tuesday evening. VRS will be racing at... What round are we on in VRS? It will be racing at Saudi Arabia yet again. So 2 Saudi Arabia races coming up for you in short succession, and then we will be back in URC returning to the Brazilian Grand Prix at Interlagos, and that will be a hot commodity for attendance. Thank you all for coming along, though. We will see you all back in a week's time here for the Brazilian race in URC.